Hi guys, Dennis Riley here, Goals to Results. How you doing? As you can see from the opening, I finally have a set that isn't, it's weatherproof and all that stuff, so that's good to know. So basically, what are we here for? Well, it's a show called Take Control 360, and it's about entrepreneurs. And basically what happens is, it's tough. Entrepreneurs is tough, and what happens is there's a lot of things out of your control, but there's a lot of things in your control. And what you want to do is you want to be in control as much as possible. So when things are out of control, you now have better responsibility and better way to handle things. So that's what Take Control 360 is all about. So basically what I want to go with you right now is show you some of the stuff that you can take control of, and I put them into different groups and I call them acronyms. And basically it's Take Control 360 and you use the word control. So basically you have the word control, and I'm going to start with it right now. So the C. C is collect data. Basically what you want to do is you want to collect every piece of data that you can, whether it's data from your websites, data from your social media content, also as data from stuff like your day-to-day stuff. Do you have a journal? You should journal. Because what happens is that down the line that's going to show you patterns, and it's going to be able to do, you're going to see a lot of that stuff. So that's the letter C. O. O is own it. You have to own it. Own everything, okay? Make everything about you're in control of it, so that if something doesn't work, you take responsibility for it. Because if you have responsibility for it, that way you can make a difference. If it's someone else's responsibility or something else, you just lost control. So try to own things as much as possible. It's not just what you do, it's also your body. Own your body. So basically what you want to do with your body is exercise properly. You want to make sure that not only exercise, but eat properly, and how you handle stress. Those are the things you want to do to own things. So that's O. So now we're on N. N is navigate. You know when you get in a car and you don't know where you're going, what you do is you usually put a GPS, and that's where you go from A to B. That's the same thing with a business, okay? Make a GPS. And I call it a goal planning system. And basically what you can do is have your own GPS, know where you're going, navigate through everything, and so if you see you're off track, you can move it over. That's N. Okay, T. T is time mastery. So basically with time mastery is people say there's not enough time in the day, and I don't have much to do here, I got too much stuff to do. That might be fine for some people, but usually what happens is that there's a lot of different things during the day that you can find out how to get time under control. There's some great tips, and there's also some draining stuff that you can get time more under control. So that's T. R, review. You have to review everything. Remember what I said back on C with collect it? You collect the data, now you got to review it. Basically what happens is everything that you do and every goal and result that you have, it kind of has its own DNA. And so basically it'll have a pattern. Your goal is to try to find the patterns of your results. And once you find patterns, you're going to have a better opportunity to get the results that you want. So that's R. Now the second O is opportunistic. Be opportunistic. Basically what's going to happen is there's going to be doors opening and closing all around you. You got to know what opportunities to take control of and what opportunities to kind of pass by. And the last letter is L. Those are two things that I like to learn and live. Basically try to learn as much you can about your business, about your vertical market and the area of your business, or any tools you use, any of your competitors, all the things that you need to learn about. Learn them as much as possible. Learn them like the back of your hand. And so then what happens is after you learn it, you're going to live it. What do you mean by live it? Basically, you're going to go and tell the world what you learned. The more people you tell, the better off your business will be, the more successful you'll be. So that's all the parts of control. If you stay in control of these parts, you have a better shot at doing things. Now all this stuff I talked about briefly. A lot of it is on my website. If you go to my website, www.goalstoresults.com, basically what you're going to see a lot of stuff about taking control. All right, there's videos, there's how-tos, there's tips. All right, there's also a free membership area, and what we're going to do with that free membership is we're going to have behind the scenes a lot more how-to and a lot more in-depth stuff on a lot of the how-tos with an entrepreneur. and you're going to see a lot of different stuff, and I go into more detail, especially with the time mastery stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that drains. I'll give you one quick example here. You know, some people go and check their email every single time when it pops up. Guess what? That's not a good idea, because what happens is you stop what you're doing, go read your email, and you come back. And if you add that up during the day, you're going to see there's a lot of time. And basically what you want to do is you only want to use your email, look at your email like 3 times a day. There's nothing really important that's going to drop off the face of the earth because you haven't seen your emails when it comes in right at that moment. So that's a perfect example. We have other examples like that, and we have videos and how-tos. So definitely check that out and really become a member, because it's a free member. Free membership, you're going to get lots of different things added in there, so sign up. Also, we do a lot of one-on-one coaching, and it's great to help out entrepreneurs with that. So you should check that out too. And we already have a free segment that you can sign up for, and we'll give you a free segment. And what you want to do is sign up, we'll talk, we'll have a Skype audio or video, and we'll talk about how your business is, and we'll go from there. So definitely check that stuff up. I hope you enjoy it. So coming up, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the O, which is opportunistic, all right? You want to be opportunistic. One of the things you can be opportunistic in is networking. All right, there's 2 different types of networking now. There's the in-face networking, which we call offline, then there's the online. You know, all this social media nowadays, there's a lot of different networking that you can do online, which is great because you can do it 24/7. But also, you cannot lose sight of the one-on-one stuff with people and the face-to-face stuff. So what I want to do in this next segment is we're going to talk to John Peacock, which is the director of Waltham Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to ask him some questions on how he helps out entrepreneurs with the one-on-one stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I have a great guest of my first show, John Peacock from the Waltham Chamber of Commerce. John, how you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
You're looking good.
Why, thank you. You are too. You are
Thank
too.
you very much.
I got some questions for you here. Some
Go
stumpers.
ahead.
We'll see if
Let's
we can
talk
answer
about
them.
our relationship. How many years has it been
Yes.
since we've known each other?
Oh my God.
You're the interview. We better all ask the
That's right.
questions.
You
About
said
5 or
after-
6
I'd say
anyway.
about 5 or 6 years, yep.
When you first came to me, you helped us out with social
Helped you out
media
with the social media
at
and
the
the
Chamber
website.
of Commerce.
Yep.
Did a nice job for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
And now I'm
Nice to
returning
be
the
here.
favor here, and I'm going to
Ask
ask
me
you
some tough questions.
When did you start with the Chamber of Commerce?
The first day of the new millennium, Monday, January 2nd, 2000.
Did you really?
Yep.
So what did you do before that?
Well, I was with a company in Waltham called the Standard Thompson Corporation. They're no longer here. They've moved out west. Manufacturing company, manufactured automotive thermostats and other temperature control devices. About 350 people. When I left there, I had been the Vice President of Human Resources about 15 years. I kind of grew up in the business, spent about 28, 29 years there. They called me in one day in middle of 1999 and said, we're doing it a little different now. The corporate people were going to be handling the gist of the HR stuff. They'll have an HR guy on staff, and basically cut my salary out with a few other people at that point in time. So anyway, from July 99 till the 2nd of January in 2002, I had the best summer I've ever had.
Do a lot of golfing?
Quite a bit.
That's good.
Quite a bit.
Cool. Now, so when you came over to Waltham Chamber, was it, do you have predecessor? What was it like?
Well, I found out in the fall, I hadn't done much in the summer looking for a job at such, although I knew I had to get one. I found out in the fall from my predecessor when I asked her if I could come to the Business Expo, you know the Business Expo, to kind of pass around resumes and stuff like that. And she said, we'll do you one better. Why don't you come over and volunteer, help set it up, help administer it, and then you'll see a bunch of people you used to know, and maybe something will come of it at that point. So I did that. It was at Brandeis University back then. A couple days after the Business Expo, the incoming chair of the board, Paul Stanton from Stanton Insurance, called me up, said, you know, nice to see you the other day. Didn't realize you were looking for a job. I learned that earlier, and called me in for an interview. I interviewed with him, the present board chair, and another person. It was a nice interview. I had a background with the Chamber of Commerce. I was on their board of directors for 8 years representing Standard Thompson Corporation. So I knew the Chamber. But, you know, I didn't know exactly what the executive director did. So we had a nice conversation, lasted about an hour or so. And a little later in the day, I was sitting in my car waiting for my wife to pick me up, or not pick me up, but go someplace with her. And Paul Stanton called up and said, come on back in tomorrow. We'll talk about giving you a job.
There you go.
So I did that. They were looking at me for 3 months, and I was looking at them, you know, to see if it mixed. And 17 years later, it mixed.
Now, so
it's a longer answer than you want.
No, that's a good answer. That's good. Now, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, you know, like I was saying before, that there really is two ways of doing networking now. There's online networking and, you know, face-to-face. And I still think the face-to-face is the best because you get to meet a lot of different entrepreneurs. And a chamber, do you see a lot of that happening? That people still doing that?
There's an awful lot of groups out there nowadays that offer networking. Chambers, that's right up our alley, obviously. There's B&I chapters. There's other shop local, Waltham chapter, that type of thing, where people get together on a regular basis. And I also know of the over the internet type of thing. I'm old-fashioned. I like to pick up the telephone and talk to people instead of sending emails out, but you got to go both ways nowadays.
I agree.
We had a networking breakfast this morning with the chamber, drew about 35 people. Not a huge crowd, but it's the first time we tried networking before 9. We do other networking things like business after hours. We'll go to a local restaurant, and the restaurants in Waltham are plentiful, and they're nice. And we'll draw 40 to 50 people to those types of things. You know, handshakes, having a couple of drinks, and those types of things. One of our most successful networking programs is a Women in Business Breakfast program we started about 10 years ago. We do 5 a year. We have prominent female speakers speaking to a group of around 75 people each time. Our good mayor in the city of Waltham, Mayor McCarthy, she's been in office for about 13 years now. She speaks at one of ours every year, draws a big crowd. It's a nice way to get to know people. But we don't own all the ideas, you know. People belong to so many organizations nowadays. It becomes, in some cases, for a small business to become almost unaffordable to join them all. But, you know, it's not a struggle. It's a challenge. We seem to be doing okay with it. I know of a number of other chamber executives in the immediate area, very pleased with their progress over the last several years. So it's good. Face-to-face is a heck of a lot better than some of the other ways.
And one thing that I like about you guys is in your office, that meeting room that anyone can use, that meeting room. And that is a great for someone.
Well, that's an asset for
have.
us. We do our board meetings there. We also rent it out to people from time to time. We never rent things out to nonprofit organizations. They're free to use it anytime they like, but we do have other organizations that come in and use it. It's nice.
Now,
nice, convenient location.
Chamber members also use that?
Chamber members can if they want. We don't get a lot of that, but we have the Waltham Partnership for Youth, Healthy Waltham Group, a number of other groups like to meet there. The Downtown Waltham Partnership meets there on a regular basis too. So it's convenient.
So if someone's here trying to decide whether to join the Waltham Chamber, what would you say to them?
Well, I certainly want to have a conversation with them on the pros and cons, looking for what they're looking for, okay? I always like to ask people, what would you like the chamber to do for you? Instead of going into a big elevator speech about the chamber, I can do that with anybody, but you always want to find out what rings that person's bell before you answer in different ways. You know, it's different strokes for different folks. We tend to represent smaller organizations. About 60% of our organizations are 1 to 5 people. Then you get some of the larger ones. And then you get a lot of large corporations here in Waltham, and we're lucky enough to have several of those. We have an awful lot of restaurants. All the 5 or 6 brand new restaurants that have come into Waltham have immediately joined the Chamber of Commerce. So
Now, if you had to say what was your best, what event do you like the best at the chamber?
the golf tournament.
The golf tournament. That's cool.
No, that's a selfish answer. Actually, I like the annual meeting we have.
Yeah.
We have our annual meeting in January. The next one coming up is on January 20th. We have a keynote speaker. We also award a Community Achievement Award to an individual or an organization each year. As a matter of fact, last year's Community Achievement Award winner was the Access Channel here for everything,
Cool.
for everything they do in the city of Waltham. We haven't chosen one coming up this year. It's a little too early for that, but we do have a keynote speaker lined up. It's John Hurst. John Hurst is the executive director of the Massachusetts Retailers Association. Great speaker and great subject.
Now, how many members are in the chamber?
We get close to 500 now.
500.
It's like this,
Yeah.
up and down, you know?
I can vouch. I like that 128 Expo.
Yeah.
I like having a booth
That's
there.
a good one for us also. That's, for those of you who don't know out there, we fill up the Westin Hotel's ballroom and foyer with about 120 exhibitors. And we hope for the best with regards to as many walk-ins as possible. And we try to enhance that a number of ways. 4 or 5 well-known restaurant food stations at the expo. You can't let them go away hungry. And also every year, we've been lucky. We've got some pretty good people working with us. The Newton Wellesley Hospital every year for the last 4 or 5 years has given free flu shots out at that event. So there's 75 people right there getting a flu shot.
And the food is amazing, by
And
the
the
way.
food's good.
Food is
And
amazing.
the hospitality at the Westin is top notch.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, what else? So how long do you think you're going to stay at the Waltham Chamber as a director?
That's a big secret.
That's a big secret.
I enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
I think I make a difference to a degree. We've been reasonably successful over the years. You know, it's like a wave sometimes, up and down. But we were up a few years ago to the extent that we were able to buy our condo. So we now own a property at the chamber, something that's rare in the chamber business. So we're proud to have that. I've got a great board of directors, about 22 people on the board of directors from all shapes and sizes of businesses. Paul Stanton from the insurance company, Paul Stanton Insurance Company is our president this year. Gentleman who owns and runs Fast Signs in Waltham, Shashir Mehta, great small business person. He's the chair next year. So, and that changes every year. So,
Cool.
got a good group of people working.
Now,
with
you know this set quite well because you also have a show on
Yeah, we
here.
do a show. Myself and Kelly Hill from the Mount Auburn Hospital started about, maybe 3 years ago doing Waltham Watches. It's an interview show. It's a half hour like this one's going to be. We typically have 2 subjects, 15 minutes segments or 10.5-minute segments, something like that. We like to help promote businesses in Waltham. Some of our newer members have been here. We also get very involved with the nonprofit organizations in Waltham. I happen to be on the board of directors of 3 or 4 of those on a regular basis. And we have those people on here promoting their nonprofit mission and also promoting some of the fundraisers that they have in order to fund their activities. So it's a fun thing. Those are the things we like to talk about at that.
And I was personally on it, and I liked it, so that was a good show.
Well, you were new to us, and we were putting together a new social media thing.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Helped us out with a lot of that, and we appreciate that.
Well, John, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Well, thank
and
you.
you have the honor of being my first guest.
That's quite an honor.
Thank
I
you.
want to wish you the best of luck with regards to the show
Thank you very
and
much.
your company.
Thanks.
I don't think
appreciate
you need that much luck with
Well,
it. You're pretty accomplished
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Coming up, we got another segment. We have a question and answer period. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, this last segment, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a question and answer. Basically, I want people to give me some videos on a question about anything to do with entrepreneurship, and I go and answer them. So I have this one question from Sharon Cassidy, and based from Results Online today, And here's her question. Let's listen to it.
Hi Dennis, Sharon here. I'm hoping you can help me out. Can you please offer some suggestions on what I can do to put myself first in the areas sleep, proper nutrition, and exercise? I'm finding that I'm always put myself at the bottom of the list of my clients and of my family and basically anyone else. These goals, I have goals in these areas, but I keep finding myself pushing these goals further and further behind, saying that I'll tackle them tomorrow, and I never do. How do I set boundaries and carve time and make these things priority for myself? Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. That was a great question. You know, I'm gonna do a little bit on a personal note here. In 2014, there was a lot of things going on in my business, and you know, with the software industry, that it was really a change in my life. And basically, there's a lot of stuff with my employees. I had to go through a lot of different stuff, and it really was stressful. And what did I do? I put myself on the back burner. And that's what I did. I put myself on the back burner. I didn't exercise. I didn't move around. Boy, did I eat bad. And, you know, and my stress level was really high. And so basically what was happening is that, you know, it was just very, very stressful time. I remember talking to my sister, and we were just talking, as we do every now and then. We were talking, and she says, "You sound stressed." And I told her exactly what was going on. And she said, "You know what?" She goes, "If you keep this up, the next time I see your wife and kids will probably be at your funeral because you're putting yourself in the grave." Now, when I first heard that, I'm like, wow, that was kind of harsh, don't you think? But you know what? She was exactly right. And what was happening is I put everyone before me, and I wasn't giving myself anything at all. And I was constantly tired, constantly stressed, and stuff like that. And that kind of hit me. And I said, wait a minute, I have to do something here. And I tried a little bit. I said, okay, you know what? All right, we're going to start exercising. We're going to start eating better. We're going to start doing this. But it really, you know, I said I was going to do it, and every now and then it worked, but it didn't work. And then also in 2014, my father had some heart issues. And that kind of hit home too, because I'm like, this is my history if I keep this up. And that's when I asked myself, I said, am I really worth it? And of course I am. You know, everyone says, of course you are. But your actions speak louder than your words. Basically, what I was doing is I was putting everyone first, and I wasn't doing anything about myself. And basically, if you don't exercise properly, if you don't take care of yourself, and if you have constant stress, it doesn't matter how much revenue you're going to bring in, or it doesn't matter how many clients you have, because guess what? Your business isn't going to last, because your business only lasts as long as the entrepreneur lasts, right? And that's you. And if you don't last, you don't have a business. If you're sick all the time, you don't have a business. If you don't have any energy, you don't have a business. So you really have to ask yourself, really put yourself in the mirror and say, look, am I worth it? Am I going to keep doing this? Because if I do keep doing this, you're going to not have a business. Once you get over that hurdle and say, of course I'm worth it, and you think, okay, everyone says, well, I'm not, you know, I don't get paid for helping myself. You don't realize that you might not get paid monetarily, but you get paid a lot of money because you keep the business going by staying healthy and by taking care of yourself and by relieving stress and all that stuff. So Sharon, once you get past that point, then now you can say to yourself, yes, I am worth it, and I'm going to put myself first every day. And what do? In the morning, you should pre-plan. I do it the night before. Pre-plan what your next day is going to be, or sometimes you do it a week in advance. Okay? But what you do is you say, these are the number of hours that I'm going to sleep, and I'm going to hold myself to it. These are the hour or two that I'm going to exercise and hold to it. Exercise is key. You know what? Get a Fitbit or something like this. That will help you get the energy you need to really perform at your optimal level. So by doing that, and by breaking up your day into different pieces, and you make sure that if you say to yourself, you know, between, I don't know, say 11 and 12, I'm going to go to the gym. Then you do it. You go to the gym 11 and 12. You don't say, oh, well, I don't have time for this, or I really don't feel like doing this. You go. And when you block time away with your family or friends, whatever, and it's chill time, do it. Okay? Make time for yourself. And once you do that, you think, okay, wait a minute, that's not going to work because I'm going to take away from time. What realizes is you're not taking away from time, you're adding to the time, and that you become more efficient and you have more energy in doing all the other aspects of time. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure of that. And that it goes back to the letter O for own. Own it. Own this tomb. You only have one tomb, okay? You want to make sure that you own it. And that is my thing for today. So I want to say to Sharon, thank you very much for the question. I appreciate it. And look, I'm going to do more of these shows. I need more questions. So if you have a question that you want answered, go to my website, and there you see on the screen, go to my website, and you will see an area that you can go and you can send me an email and send me a video. And we'll figure out a way of getting the video back and forth, and I will answer that to you. That's what I want it to do for you, okay? Because I really want to help you guys out as much as possible. And that's what the show is about. I've been in the business for 22 years. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to give back as much as I can, because I've done the ups and downs of being a entrepreneur. And it really is a journey, okay? It's not a destination, it's a journey. Okay, so I want to make sure that you realize that it's a journey. Enjoy every day of it. There's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs, but you don't want to go too high, you don't want to go too low. Enjoy it and make sure that you enjoy life. If whatever you're doing gets to a point that you're not enjoying life or you're not enjoying the people around it, then you know what, whatever you're doing, it's not worth it. And you have to have the passion that you're doing. If you have no passion or it's just a total encompassing and you really don't like what you're doing, find something else. So if you have any questions, feel free to go to the website again. It's www.goalstoresults.com. And again, sign up to be a member so you can get the newsletter and you can do all that stuff for you. And so basically, if you have anything else, let me know. And also, one more thing. You saw the guest that I have today, which was John Peacock. He did a fantastic job. Again, that's a great networking for people to join a Chamber of Commerce. There's lots of different areas that you can join. A local Chamber of Commerce is a great way to meet people after hours. They have networking hours and networking events, and that's what you want to see during that. And now, if you're in the Waltham area, I would love, if you're in Waltham area and you need, you'd like to have come on here and talk to me about your business, I'd love to have you on. So again, go to the website, fill out the form, and I will be in touch with you, and we'll get you in that chair, and we'll ask some questions for you, and we'll help both of us out. I'm going to help you, and you can help me as well. So until the next time, remember, have fun, whatever you're doing, and give it the passion all you want, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.